What if the answers to your future were already right in front of you, hidden in the simplest, most ancient words passed down through generations? What if those answers could shape your destiny? Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that ancient wisdom, written thousands of years ago in the form of Proverbs, still holds the power to guide you today and even predict what lies ahead? These aren't just words meant for ancient times. They're powerful insights, wrapped in short, timeless phrases that still apply to every choice we make, especially those proverbs from the Bible. Words that carry wisdom beyond their time, offering more than just guidance for living. They hold deep, almost prophetic truths about the future, showing us how today's actions shape the tomorrow we're heading toward. So, what if, by understanding these ancient codes, we could actually unlock a roadmap to our future? Let's dive into some of the most powerful pieces of wisdom that have not only shaped our past, but might just predict where we're headed next. Proverbs are more than just short sayings. They're life lessons passed down through generations, crafted to give us wisdom in the simplest form. These ancient words have survived for thousands of years because they hold a truth that never goes out of style. In fact, many of the proverbs from the Bible are still just as relevant today as they were when they were first written. Take, for example, one of the most famous proverbs. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. On the surface, it seems like advice for finding peace in life. But if you really think about it, it's more than that. This proverb is telling us that the key to shaping our future isn't in our own limited understanding, but in trusting a higher wisdom. If we can align ourselves with that wisdom, our future paths, no matter how uncertain, will become clearer. These ancient words weren't just written for a past generation. They were written for us, to help us make sense of the present and predict the direction our lives will take. In fact, many of these proverbs seem to hold universal truths, truths that apply across time, cultures, and generations. Whether you're facing personal challenges, financial decisions, or even global uncertainties, the wisdom of these proverbs offers guidance. And, as we'll explore, it doesn't just guide us. It can predict what will happen if we follow or ignore this wisdom. So let's take a closer look at how these ancient proverbs are not only relevant today, but how they might just unlock the future we're walking toward. The beauty of proverbs lies in their simplicity. They pack complex truths into a few short lines, yet the deeper meanings can have a powerful impact on our lives. It's like there's an invisible blueprint for success and failure hidden in these ancient words, one that can predict the outcomes of our decisions today. One of the most consistent themes in the Bible's Proverbs is the idea of cause and effect. Proverbs are full of warnings, promises, and insights, showing us that what we sow today determines what we reap tomorrow. For instance, consider Proverbs 22:8. Whoever sows injustice reaps calamity. It's a clear cause and effect relationship. If we choose dishonesty, greed, or harm, we can expect trouble ahead. This isn't just about moral guidance, it's a prediction of the future. When we take actions that hurt others or ourselves, the consequences are inevitable. On the flip side, there are proverbs that promise positive outcomes when we act with integrity. Proverbs 11:18 says, "The wicked earn deceptive wages, but he who sows righteousness reaps a sure reward." Here, the wisdom is clear. If we live by principles of justice and righteousness, our future is secure. Whether we're building our careers, relationships, or reputation, these choices shape what will come. Have you ever looked back and realized that the choices you made years ago shaped who you are today? The Proverbs show us that the seeds we plant today will determine the harvest we enjoy, or suffer from, tomorrow. But the future isn't just about the actions we take. It's about the wisdom we use in making those choices. Proverbs like, Proverbs 4:7. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Are clear about this. Wisdom isn't just a nice thing to have, it's essential for navigating life and predicting what's ahead. Think about it. When we act with wisdom, we make decisions based on foresight and understanding. We anticipate the consequences of our actions and plan for what's to come. In today's world, we might call it thinking long-term or planning for the future, but the Bible calls it wisdom. When we lack wisdom, we make decisions based on emotions or immediate desires, and those often lead to regrets. Imagine being able to foresee the impact of your decisions. What would you do differently if you knew how your actions today would shape your tomorrow? The beauty of ancient proverbs is that they don't just speak to the past. They offer insights that apply directly to our modern world. If we take a closer look, we can see how the wisdom found in these ancient words continues to predict personal success, failure, and even trends in our society today. One of the most powerful predictions we find in the Bible's Proverbs is how our personal habits and decisions lead to our ultimate success or failure. Proverbs 12:1 says, "Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid." This is a clear forecast. If you embrace discipline and learning, you're laying the foundation for success. But if you reject correction, your path will lead to regret and failure. Think about it in today's terms. Successful people aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who are willing to put in the hard work, make adjustments, and keep learning. Those who hate criticism or avoid change often find themselves stuck. The truth of this proverb has been proven time and again by entrepreneurs, athletes, and leaders who thrive because they are committed to constant growth. Take someone like Warren Buffett, widely considered one of the most successful investors in modern history. He's known for his discipline in following solid principles, his love for learning, and his ability to adapt. The opposite is true for those who rely on shortcuts or get discouraged by failure. They often face financial or career setbacks. Proverbs like these offer us a glimpse into the future we're creating based on our daily habits. Money is a subject that the Bible touches on repeatedly in its Proverbs, and the predictions about financial success are just as relevant today as they were centuries ago. Proverbs 21:5 states, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." This simple truth highlights the difference between those who plan carefully and those who rush into things without thinking. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the desire for quick riches, whether it's through investments, get-rich-quick schemes, or consumerism. But the Bible warns us that those who take the time to plan, save, and work diligently will eventually reap the rewards. It's the slow, steady progress that leads to real prosperity, not shortcuts. In the modern financial world, experts often talk about the importance of long-term investments, whether in stocks, real estate, or even in education. Short-term decisions that are impulsive or risky tend to lead to losses or financial struggles. Proverbs like this one offer wisdom that helps us predict that if we put in the work and plan for the future, we'll see the payoff in the long run. Imagine looking back 10 years from now. What decisions would you have made differently if you had followed these timeless principles? The Bible's Proverbs not only guide us in the present, they give us the power to predict our own future based on the wisdom we choose to live by. The question is, are you ready to start building the future you want? While Proverbs offer guidance on how to shape a bright future, they also contain powerful warnings. These warnings aren't just about avoiding bad decisions. They are predictions of the consequences that will follow if we ignore wisdom. In the same way a map warns us of dangerous roads ahead, these proverbs serve as caution signs, urging us to avoid paths that lead to destruction. One of the most recurring themes in the Book of Proverbs is the warning against temptation. Whether it's the lure of wealth, the danger of bad relationships, or the pull of short-term pleasure, Proverbs repeatedly cautions us that giving in to these desires can lead to ruin. A vivid example is Proverbs 7:25. Let not your heart turn aside to her ways. Do not stray into her paths. This verse warns against the seductive pull of temptation, particularly the dangers of illicit relationships, but its message can apply to any form of distraction that leads us off course. When we give in to temptation, we often believe we're in control, just like someone walking down a familiar street. But the Proverbs tell us that these paths, though they may seem harmless at first, eventually lead to destruction. Do not stray into her paths. These aren't just words of advice. They're a prediction of where that path will lead if we don't take caution. Think of the countless stories of people whose lives have been derailed by making impulsive decisions, whether it's a financial risk that leads to debt or a bad relationship that causes emotional distress. The warning in Proverbs isn't just about making good choices. It's about understanding the predictable outcome of following the wrong path. Another critical warning comes from Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This verse highlights the connection between our inner world and our external actions. When our hearts are filled with pride, greed, or hatred, it's only a matter of time before these negative emotions manifest in harmful actions. The proverb predicts that if we don't protect our hearts from corruption, our future will be marked by poor decisions and toxic consequences. In today's world, this is more important than ever. We live in a time when emotional responses often drive decisions. Whether it's acting out of anger, jealousy, or fear, these feelings can lead us to hurt others or ourselves. The proverb doesn't just suggest that we should guard our hearts. It tells us that if we don't, we're setting ourselves up for disaster. Think about the relationships that have broken down because of bitterness or pride. We've all seen how holding on to resentment or unforgiveness can poison a friendship or a marriage. Proverbs tells us that the heart is the root of our actions, and if we don't protect it, our future will be shaped by the consequences of those unchecked emotions. Have you ever looked back and regretted a decision made in the heat of the moment? Proverbs warn us that these decisions, born out of temptation or a corrupted heart, will lead to destruction. But the good news is, by heeding these warnings, we can change the direction of our lives before it's too late. The choice is ours. Will we listen to the ancient wisdom and avoid the pitfalls that could ruin our future? Or will we repeat the mistakes that are waiting for us on the other side of temptation? The beauty of the Proverbs isn't just in their personal wisdom. They also offer insight into how societies and even nations can shape their future. The Bible's Proverbs contain wisdom that applies not only to individuals, but also to entire cultures and communities. And when we look at the world today, it's clear that these ancient words continue to reflect the cycles and challenges we see in modern societies. One of the key messages in Proverbs is that righteousness and wisdom elevate entire nations. Proverbs 14:34 says, "Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people." This isn't just a spiritual or moral lesson. It's a prediction of how a society will fare in the long run based on its collective values. Nations that embrace justice, integrity, and righteousness will thrive, while those that embrace corruption and sin will face decline. We can see this truth playing out today. Nations that prioritize the well-being of their citizens, uphold justice, and work toward equality and fairness tend to prosper in terms of social stability, economic growth, and overall quality of life. On the other hand, countries that become mired in corruption, inequality, and injustice often face unrest, economic hardship, and instability. Think about the Scandinavian countries like Sweden or Norway, which consistently rank high in terms of happiness, health, and prosperity. These nations emphasize equality, fairness, and social justice. values that are deeply aligned with the wisdom in Proverbs. In contrast, countries that are deeply divided by corruption or oppression tend to experience turmoil and slower progress. Proverbs also offers warnings about leadership. How a nation is governed directly impacts its future. Proverbs 28:2 states, "When a country is rebellious, it has many rulers, but a man of understanding and knowledge maintains order." This proverb predicts the chaos that follows when a nation is divided, with leaders who lack wisdom or understanding. In today's world, we see how leadership crises or political instability can create chaos in a country. When leadership is weak, corrupt, or fractured, it often leads to confusion and conflict. However, the proverb suggests that wise and knowledgeable leadership brings order, progress, and stability. The rise and fall of governments throughout history demonstrate this pattern. For instance, when a country has strong, visionary leadership, like Singapore's founding father Lee Kuan Yew, the nation flourishes. But when there is political chaos or poor leadership, such as in countries plagued by corruption or ineffective governance, the consequences are often disastrous, leading to unrest or economic decline. When we look at the world today, it's hard to ignore how the wisdom of these ancient proverbs still plays out on a global scale. Just as they predict the outcomes of personal actions, they also predict the success or downfall of nations based on their collective choices. So, the question is, can we learn from these ancient lessons? Can we make wiser decisions today, not only in our own lives, but as a society, to avoid the mistakes of the past and build a future rooted in wisdom and righteousness? The answers might already be written in the ancient proverbs, waiting for us to act on them. One of the most incredible aspects of the proverbs is how they transcend time and culture. These ancient pieces of wisdom aren't just confined to the past. They speak directly to us today, offering guidance for the challenges we face and helping us predict the future we are creating. The more we understand them, the more we realize just how timeless they truly are. Despite being written thousands of years ago, the wisdom found in the Book of Proverbs continues to be as relevant today as it was when it was first penned. Think about it. We still struggle with the same human challenges: temptation, greed, pride, and the pursuit of wisdom. The Proverbs speak directly to these challenges, offering solutions and warnings that resonate in our personal lives, in our communities, and even on the global stage. In a world that's constantly changing, where technology, politics, and social norms evolve at a rapid pace, these ancient words are a reminder that some truths remain constant. Whether we're navigating a difficult relationship, struggling with personal finances, or trying to make sense of global events, the Proverbs offer timeless guidance that helps us see beyond the immediate moment and understand the bigger picture. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us to trust in something greater than our own understanding. In a world where people often rely on quick fixes and immediate gratification, this call to trust in a higher wisdom is as revolutionary today as it was in ancient times. The struggle between short-term thinking and long-term wisdom has always been at the heart of human experience, and the Proverbs offer us a blueprint to navigate it. But it's not just about personal guidance. The Proverbs also have a predictive quality. By following their wisdom, we are, in a sense, shaping our future. The Proverbs don't just tell us how to live better lives, they show us what will happen if we follow or ignore their advice. Consider the principle of sowing and reaping, which appears throughout the Proverbs. Proverbs 11:18 says, "The wicked earn deceptive wages, but he who sows righteousness reaps a sure reward." This isn't just moral advice, it's a prediction about the future. It suggests that those who live with integrity and righteousness will ultimately be rewarded, while those who pursue shortcuts, lies, or corruption will face consequences. This law of cause and effect is true not just in personal lives, but in societies and nations as well. Think about the impact of technology in our modern world. While it brings great opportunities, it also brings new challenges. Privacy concerns, ethical dilemmas, and societal shifts. The principles found in the Proverbs can help guide how we navigate these changes. For instance, the wisdom of patience and long-term thinking can help us avoid the trap of chasing instant gratification, which is a real challenge in today's fast-paced, social media-driven culture. Imagine looking back a decade from now, knowing that the choices you made today were shaped by the timeless wisdom of these ancient proverbs. How much more confident would you feel about the future you're creating? These proverbs have been a guide through generations, and they can still light the way forward, helping us not only understand the world today, but also predict the future we're headed toward. In a world full of uncertainty, the wisdom of Proverbs gives us a solid foundation. The more we understand it, the more we realize it's not just a collection of old sayings. It's a timeless code that can help us navigate life with clarity, purpose, and a sense of direction. So, let's not just look back at these ancient words with admiration. Let's put them to work and use them to unlock the future we've always dreamed of. Now that we've explored the power of ancient proverbs, it's time to reflect on how these timeless words apply to your own life. Think about the choices you're making today. Are they leading you toward the future you want? The wisdom in these proverbs isn't just for the past, it's for now. It's a guide to help you shape a better tomorrow, and the first step starts with how you live today. So, what are you sowing today that could shape your tomorrow? Whether it's in your relationships, your career, or your personal growth, every decision you make plants a seed for the future. Keep seeking wisdom, and you might just unlock the future you've always dreamed of. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below with your favorite proverb and how it's impacted your life, or even your predictions for the future based on what you've learned today. Your insights could inspire someone else to start their own journey of wisdom. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.